dust and shavings, very small diameter. There are much worse things in Jeff's sewer system than this, and it basically just washes down the line. It's a really neat system.
Forward thinking, I think it's a good plan that, I mean, obviously there's gonna be, in 10 years, there's gonna be something come along that we haven't expected or can't expect. Or,
Sure.
All things being equal, that makes good sense.
Using a roadmap for the future.
And for budget planning, his budget planning and so on, in terms of what we can expect, what we're gonna need to do if we're going to, everybody see all that come to play. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKee.
Ron May, change order in Lincoln Street.
Good evening.
Ditto.
I don't have anything as exciting as slip line and sewers to share with you this evening. Lincoln Street, to refresh everyone's memory, is a project where the Board of Works is the contractual agent for the city, and the redevelopment commission is the fiducial agent for the city. So the redevelopment commission is paying for this work, but since you were the original signatories on the contract, we're bringing the change order to you. This change order has been discussed with the Board of Works, and they did agree to the additional cost and the additional time. The change order is for unexpected items that have been encountered thus far through the project, and actually as of about 2 weeks ago, I think, was when we kind of chopped it off. So far there are 3 items. One was a pipe-in section precast concrete that was needed where we penetrated the retaining wall north of Washington Street directly to the creek. Another one was a sewer lateral that we encountered where we have some inlet structures. We didn't know it was at that location and that elevation. And the last one was an unknown 4-inch tile that needed to be perpetuated. The total of those 3 items comes to $3,725.25. I will tell you that we've already encountered some additional items, so we will be back with more change orders. It's the nature of work, especially in an urban environment where you're digging around in the ground and there's stuff there that we simply did not have any way to know where it was or what it would be. So we found a box culvert right up Lincoln Street that we were unaware of. That had to be resolved. That'll be one thing we come back. We know too that we've had a lot more pavement excavation than was originally seen. Some of that due to utility work in the area. That'll actually come forth as an overrun on some of our pavement items. The other item in this change order is a request for increase in time. The contractor asked for 60 additional days. That is predominantly the result of utility relocation work. We had hoped, maybe ignorantly or maybe naively so, hoped for a very timely response from the utilities. Literally today, the last utility moved off of the poles, and tomorrow Duke is scheduled to remove the old poles. So once that's done, they will literally be out of the way, although we've had probably a good month where the utilities were not as much in the contractor's way. So that issue hopefully is behind us. So the net effect of the change order is to add $3,725.25 to the contract amount and to increase the length of the street closure time in the contract completion date by 60 days. That takes us in real round numbers to around the end of November. We're still hopeful, if we do not have an early winter, we're hopeful that we'll get the project finished. If we do not get the project finished, we're very hopeful that we will get everything done except possibly the surface paving course, and that will be simply weather dependent.
Will any of that street be opened before the end of November?
Lincoln Street itself, no. the cross streets,
Cross streets.
possibly, probably. We're hopeful of getting Washington Street open back in a couple of weeks, that intersection. There is a chance within, say, a month, we can get North Street open to traffic. We want to be cautious because North Street's a one-way street. We don't have the matching pairs with Central. We want to think through the value of opening, say, North without Central. So we will evaluate when that time comes. The rough plan is the storm sewer work south of Central actually is probably 95% complete. South of the alley between North and Central, I think literally right now is 100% complete. So the next operation will be the installation of the under drains and the installation of the curb, starting at Main Street and going up to the alley behind the Armory, the alley between North and Central, and then completing the sidewalk in that area while the storm sewer work continues north, and doing the pavement patching, not the surface, full depth patching. So that's the rough plan. We hope in a month, maybe a lot of that will be behind us. And the sidewalks, I didn't mention the sidewalk in that area also. Start to clean up the whole south end, well, north end continues.
I mean, obviously, the 60 days, it is what it is, and we have to deal with it, but, you know, I don't remember any of our other projects running into this kind of an issue. I mean, for 60 days, we've had some delays, but I don't remember 60 days. It seems like a long time.
To refresh your memory, this project started really from conception, August a year ago. And design was completed March of this year. And we did not really allow the utilities hardly any time to do their relocation work. And that's why I said previously that our expectation of a more rapid utility response may have simply been naive on our part. It's been a very fast-moving project. These kinds of projects typically take a good, fast-moving one 2 to 4 years. We're doing it in not much over a year to hope for completion.
Well, we gotta finish it, we gotta finish it right, so.
We're in this one. I will stop.
Any other questions about this? You got it. I move approval of work agreement, change order number 1.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Say no.
Just one place.
Yes, please. To further refresh your memory about Lincoln Street, this is a community crossing matching grant project. This was funded, the street work itself was funded half by NDOT, half by the city. The street light component will be funded entirely by the city through the redevelopment commission.
Okay. Yes.
Next is a change order for 2017 Community Crossing Matching Grant Project 3. That project was overlaying Montfort Street from the railroad north to Main Street, overlaying Franklin Street from Washington to Central, overlaying 10th Street generally from Lincoln to Broadway, and overlaying Nightingale from Baruchel to Greenview Drive. We had a drainage situation at the intersection of North Street and Franklin. There was some inlets on the north side of the intersection, but they had no really good outlet. They were a very shallow buried half pipe, and I literally mean pipe cut in half, that had virtually no cover. It was creating sinkholes on the west side of the intersection where the pavement, the pipe had rusted out and the pavement was falling through. So we identified an opportunity to take that drainage and provide a proper outlet for it. That consisted of installing a new storm sewer down North Street to an existing manhole just south of the intersection with East Street. That included 2 new inlets, one on the east side and one on the west side of Franklin, immediately north of Franklin. The storm sewer and a new manhole halfway down the hill to accommodate everything. All of that resulted in an increase to the project of $31,922.25. And the copy of the change order that had been provided to you prior to the meeting had a clerical error on the very first line of the very first table. What you had showed a quantity of 1 inlet structure, and that should have been 2. The math on that was actually correct in the original copy. We have revised that, cleaned that up. The next part of this requested change order is what's often referred to as underruns and overruns. In a unit price contract, sometimes you use a little more than you had intended, and sometimes you use a little less. So with regards to the final contract amount, we had $31,925.25 in additional work. We had a net overrun of $2,026.30. So this change order would make the final contract amount $203,683.55. And this is a community crossing matching grant project whereby we received from the state roughly $85,000, about half.
Well,
Actually, that's not correct, Mark. It was a little more than that, wasn't
You got the plan in front of you.
it? I do not have the actual.
85 would be just over half of the 169 original amount.
Whatever the original amount of 169,000 and some
Right.
change, we got that half.
Right,
The drainage part was not
That's all it
included,
is,
so we
right.
had to take that
We
up
don't
on our
get
dime.
any reimbursement on that.
but it's necessary, when.
Yes.
We had to do it to make
Yeah,
the project
makes-
successful.
Makes sense. Unless my colleagues have questions, I would move approval. Move approval of committee matching grant project 3, change order 1.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor of the changeover work agreement, number 1? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so passes.
Next and finally for me is the signing of the title sheet for Veterans Way Phase 2. Phase 2 is the portion from Smith Road to State Road 3, our existing Lincoln Street intersection. Again, this is a project where you are the contracting agent, and the redevelopment commission is the fiducial agent. One of the steps in the process, our designer are virtually done with the plans. They're getting ready to submit them to NDOT and all the associated documents. The item that we're still working on is the acquisition of right-of-way. That process is working its way through. Hopefully will be cleaned up. We're now realistically anticipating a March letting for the project that's predicated upon completing 3 rights-of-way acquisitions. That is the only outstanding item on the project. So I have before me the nearly final plans, and I say nearly final only because our consultant said they're still reviewing them and making sure everything's in order, but nothing significant has changed to these plans for quite some time, actually. So I present to you a title sheet for your signatures, if you're so inclined to do that.
I know you gotta
Another,
get cleaned up.
With a few of these separations, this is actually the same as that. Your signatures will be electronically affixed to the plans because that's how they get submitted to NDOT. So we'll sign both an actual title sheet.
it'd be easier just to come and sign
And
it.
scan and send to our consultant. Thank you.
Chief Bridges?
No, I don't know.
Good evening. I should not be as long as Mr. May, so tonight I'm just asking for the board to possibly look at picking a time and date in October to do interviews pending the approval of the 2019 budget. It's going to be going in front of the city council this evening. So I'm kind of wanting to get on it that way. If it does pass, we can go ahead and get officer, or the ones that are selected to testing and all that. That will take a couple months. So.
Do you have a week that you think would be better, given your part of the process here?
The only week that does not work for me is the 15th through 19th. I'm going to be gone. But other than that, I've talked to the 3 applicants that will be getting interviewed, and they stated that, other than that, they should be good. So it's whatever is best for you guys.
The only evening that week that doesn't work for me is Tuesday.
So that's the week that, not 15th, the week of 15th.
No, the week of the 22nd.
Oh, wait, okay.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't make myself clear. You're exactly right. The only, if we look at the week, the following week of the 22nd, Monday, 22nd, Tuesday, the 23rd is the only evening, if we're doing it an evening, that I am not available. If the others are, and that's the only night, that's fine, go ahead without me.
I'm the same with the 25th.
So we're now looking at, if we're looking at that week, 22nd, 24th, I don't know what the mayor's,
What about the 29th of October?
Monday?
Yeah, or the 30th?
30 is not good for me, 29 would work. Okay,
Time's okay.
I'll make that work, what time?
Yeah, that.
So we'll go October 29th at 6.
6?
And how many will we be in?
3.
3.
At what time?
6, does that work okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do I need to stay up here for the next topic, or?
You can if you want.
We do have board work scheduled for this Friday, yes?
Right.
At 4? Yes?
Yes.
Do I have the right
Yes.
time?
Yeah. Just open the bids for the fire department. The grading bids. Daryl can't be here, he's got a meeting he needs to be at, so,
October the 5th, Friday, 4.
yeah. Okay. Next I have on the agenda is, we contacted Matt about cameras. We put some in at the street department now, we put some in at the water plant. Police department is needing an upgrade on theirs. The ones that he has came from California, I believe, or Arizona or someplace, but anyway, they need to be, it's time. And so, what we're gonna do is ask the council to be able to use public safety money for this year. The funds that are in there to enhance this project. Also, I have a bid in there for the sewer plant. I think that we need to start, protecting our areas and kind of keeping an eye on things a little bit closer. I know Mark has got his phone. Does it have the pictures on it?
I don't have them on there, but I have the capability.
Okay, he can have the capabilities of putting the pictures on his phone and being able to check everything out as we're going down the road. So this is a project that we're looking at to do. But I was wanting to see if I could get, with the okay from the council for the public safety funds to go ahead and get this project started and pay, and the sewers is $17,955 and the police is $27,365. These are different from the in-car ones, but this would be all the way around. Yeah. So, had them go through this mad tech group, went through and have done it. Seems like we're getting pretty good pictures and stuff. So that's what we're shooting for. So if I could have a motion to go ahead, purchase these. If not, we'll use I got other funds that we can use for the police department, building, maintenance, and that thing, but I felt like this was public safety.
The public safety.
Yeah, if they don't go with public safety, but I think this is a public safety issue all the way for, on chief's area.
I'll make a motion that, we approve the, purchasing in MatTech for the, surveillance cameras
Okay.
for the police department and city.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstains and someone, I'll be voted twice.
Okay,
No, I vote yes.
okay. Okay, that works. Thanks.
Voting to take it.
I know that, you know, we did the, sewer rehab plan is basically like the road project that Braun and Mark had just got done. They have filed it with the state, and they accepted our plans, for the new assessments of the roads. So, basically, we felt like that, I talked with Smitty about this project here on the sewers, just trying to, let's get something set pretty well stone, and idea or direction we need to go, on that. And then next week, I believe, and possibly this week, we could be closing some streets. Davidson, West Washington,
Davidson won't be touched till next week during fall break.
okay, next week when fall breaks, Davidson will be,
Washington from Ireland to west, Wilder from Maine to Michigan,
Macy Lane,
Macy Lane, Kathy Way from Michigan back towards the Y, and Davidson. We got 5 streets. And they're gonna, plus the parking lot at the street department and up to the police station. We've had this contract in place since last year, but we kinda held everything off to fall break so the paving company could show up and not be impacting the school corporation, because they've got some paving going on also.
so kind of teaming up and working with them. with
But we're hoping to get
school
started this
systems.
week.
So, that's what's gonna be coming up.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Milling don't hurt, paving we need to be a little bit more dry.
Okay, so I think that's all I have, guys, unless you have something else. Okay, well, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn. So moved. Thank you.